Maxie. I'm not sure if I messed something up here. You guys let me know. I was trying something to restream for Nick, but I think I kind of butchered that. Can you guys let me know that I'm still alive and here and all is good? Dang. Yeah, I think I butchered it. I think it's okay. Actually, I think it's okay. Okay, sweet. Thanks, Max. Yeah, I was trying to do something where I was going to do this, like, it's called Restream, to send it to Nick. I might have to do a different streaming service for you guys. I'm not entirely sure. Nick has been happy to rewatch them later on. But if I could get them live for him, I'm sure he'd appreciate that. You dabble between Colgate and Sensodyne. I can't remember what brand I use. One sec. It's probably you, Fola. Sorry, bro. Looks like I use Colgate Maxi Fresh. Let's get some more light in here, eh? Boom, baby. Colgate Max Fresh. Although I actually hate this one because it's the kind that's like the weird blue nastiness. Like it's like a gel. It's not like the regular like creamy toothpaste, and it's kind of weird and nasty. I'm just gonna take the sweater off. It's annoying. Hey, Aniola, welcome, bud. Aniola, does your stream seem to be going okay as well, or is yours messed up like Fola's is? Yours good? Awesome, man. Good, good, good. Hey, Lewis. Colgate. Man, yeah, you guys are like definitely team Colgate here. Max was Colgate, Fola's Colgate and Sensodyne. When I asked this to the grade 11s, all of them were Crest. They were like Crest, Crest, Crest. Colgate for life. Oh, it has breath strips. This stream brought to you by Colgate. Enjoy a Max Fresh taste for only $2.99 a tube. Use coupon code LS5 for 5% off. Super glue. Michael, do you think my... Oh, that's what you use. I was like, do you think this looks like super glue? No, that's what you use for toothpaste. That's funny. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, well, while y'all are doing that, maybe I'll I'll open up attendance here while you're telling me what kind of toothpaste you use. Lucci uses Colgate too. Man. Our sponsor is Raid Shadow Legends. What the heck is Raid Shadow Legends? Is that some sort of weird League of Legends thing? Hello, Home Slice. What's up? You're Crest, eh? You're the only Crest in here, man. Adele, what kind of toothpaste do you use? Oh, it's a meme thing? Oh, I'm sorry. Clearly, I haven't been watching enough streams. I started Borderlands 3 was on sale last night, so anyways, I got Borderlands 3. It's like the first time I've played video games in years. Colgate. So Michael's the only one on Team Crest here. All right, I'm opening up. Let's do some attendance. No, not that screen, you goof. We want this screen to be shared. Whatever. So I see... I already had The Witcher 3, unfortunately, Michael. But yeah, I paid a lot more than that. Unfortunately, for the sense that I've already bought it. Not unfortunately that I own it, just unfortunately that I already have it. Okay, Eniola is here. Fola is here. Ray, let me know if you're here. Sam, hey buddy. Welcome. Michael is here. Awesome. I'm going to mark Nick here, even though he is on China time. No word from Donald yet. Selena's here. Hey, Selena. Glad your internet's working again. Ray's here. Awesome. Leah's here. Welcome, Leah. Lucci's here. Perfect. Adele I saw. Lewis I saw. I'm waiting on Carissa, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no Carissa just yet. Waiting on Josh. Waiting on Donald. And I saw Max right off the bat, I do believe. Yeah, he was the Colgate guy right off the top. Yeah, perfect. Oh yeah, Chris has said Colgate. Sorry, Chris, I forgot about that. I remember. You know I got a terrible memory. Alright, I wonder what our score was here. We got 1 Colgate, 2 Colgate, 3 Colgate, 1 for super glue. Lucci made us 4 Colgate. Michael's got 1 Crest. Adele brought us up to 5 Colgate. Carissa, no, we already counted her vote. Selena, we need you. You got to be on Team Crest here. Crest is hurting. It's 5-1. And Michael says Crestgate. Holy. I've either got to trim this beard, or I've been in quarantine too long, or the camera adds more than 5 pounds. Because I'm feeling a little wider than normal. Dang, Colgate it is. There's like a monopoly on Colgate here. Sorry, Ray, for the close-up. Michael, you're the only one with Crest, man. That's crazy. I thought Crest... I remember getting Crest like the little like... Yeah, it's got like the red and... Or is that Colgate? The little red and blue stripy thing. Leo, what is TheraBreath? TheraBreath. I haven't even heard of that. TheraBreath. I'm Googling it. Ooh. 30-day money-back guarantee. Nice. It's headquartered in Los Angeles, California. Oh yeah, you need a close-up of my toothpaste? What? I don't understand. Look at those breath strips. Wow, this bottle is interesting. How do I share? I'm gonna go back to... Look at this thing. This is the... Is this what yours looks like, Leah? TheraBreath, that's cool. It looks like a little, like, I don't know, pill bottle or something like that. Do you squeeze it? It doesn't have like normally when you roll out of this one, right, you would like roll it until you got like nothing left. But this one looks interesting. You're like, it's more like a tube. Anyways, TheraBreath, cool. Yeah, it's a toothpaste bottle. Oh wait, no, this one says oral rinse. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Here we go. Look at that, oral rinse. That's what that one is. That's my bad. And then this is, they have the same kind of style. TheraBreath, cool. Looks very like healthy. Looks like you could eat it. Oh, it's not healthy? Or it's not a toothpaste bottle. I think she was referring to that's not the toothpaste bottle. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got the scoop. Leah and Michael, you guys unfortunately... What the heck is it? How do you eat it? Eat? Oh, you mean eat it or eat it? I'm not sure. I'll just shut up. Let's rock and roll. Can you guys post a comment? What did you think of that video? Was it boring as heck? Did you actually think it was cool? Did you learn something? Somebody post a comment for me in the chat. That way I can kind of see what you guys thought of that. What you guys thought of that video. It was long. Sam said boring as heck. Oh man, Max said boring. Wow, at least you guys are honest. Would you be this honest with me if we were in person right now? I don't know, maybe, probably. You guys are pretty honest people. Oh man, Leah says boring, Max says boring, Sam says boring. Fola says is actually interesting. Wow, Fola, thank you. Wow, Sam, it wasn't just really, no, Sam goes boring as heck, boring, too boring. Too boring would make me think you didn't do it. Wow, Lucci's being so honest, she didn't even watch the whole thing. Okay, well, Carissa, thank you. I'm pretty interested in that kind of stuff because, like, I think that there's a really cool. It brings up some cool points and some cool bits of information on what a B corporation is. Rary says the information was interesting. The presentation was nit. Bummer. Oh. Okay. Well, I guess sorry, I'm lame and I picked a boring one. I thought it was cool. Normally I don't show stuff unless I think it's like really interesting. But anyways, my bad. I won't show that one in the future, except for people like Fola. I'll be like, do you consider yourself to be like Fola? No one would admit to that, obviously. Chirp, Fola, get wrecked. Yeah, anyways, I won't show that again. So sorry, guys. I just thought it was interesting. It leads up to our discussion today. Anyways, all good. Fola can finally hear my chirp. All right, so can you guys see if you've got, let's see if you've got my note that was called the triple bottom line. So should be able to go here to triple bottom line. I don't think I've ever given you guys the full, have I given you the full green screen effect? I'll see if I can pull it off for you. Let's see if I can do it. So I kind of look a little bit weird and warm and then sometimes see-through, but you should be able to, like, right, see around me. It doesn't work that good with this t-shirt for some reason, and I do look a little bit like warmer, but anyways, I think it's kind of fun. But you can see, like, my blinds aren't quite wide enough, and then you've got the top of the blind there, but it seems to work pretty good because it's like almost green. It's almost green. So anyways, kind of stupid. I won't do this the whole time. I feel like it messes with your head a little bit. I'll go back to the no green screen camera. Yeah, secret act activated. I also got some. Can you guys post in the chat if you guys have? There was 2 parts I gave you. It says 2 triple bottom line and 3 democracy versus autocracy. If you've got it, give me a newt in chat. If you've got those notes, let me know. I was just saying, just tell me if you've got it. Just tell me if you've got the, Michael's dead. Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. Now you can tell I'm is it spelled nud? I don't know. I would think newt. Anyways, stupid. Someone thinks they got it. Someone, I know you don't have it. Max is giving me a little monkey. Aluchi's got it. Actually, I should be saying, give me a message if you don't have it. Who have I not heard from? I haven't heard from Selena. Novak is not, not in terms of not, okay, now I see Selena anyways. I just mean, I have heard from you guys. I just hadn't heard if you've got it or not. Who else? Michael's got it. Okay. We'll probably start. Yes, Novak is heading back to Taiwan town. So we will, hope he gets back there good. And he'll be doing the Lewis strategy. Lewis, are you there still? Or do you have the note? He said hello at the start. I bet you he just said hello and left. Oh, Joshy's here. I'm going to mark Joshy present. Okay, you guys let me know when I'm back alive. I'm not sure if I'm back alive yet. Sorry, I don't know what happened to me there. I was just doing attendance. The internet has heavy traffic on it. I'm unfortunately on cable and not fiber optic. So when the traffic gets busy, it gets real busy. Okay, anyways. I thought I did attendance. Okay, Aniola says I'm good. Yeah, you guys say I'm good. Awesome. So just know Donald. As far as I see, Donald, if you get here, let me know, buddy. Okay, cool. Sweet. Sorry, what the heck am I doing here? I am looking at the OneNote. Awesome. So let's just quickly talk through a couple of these things, and then I'm gonna do a little note just based on what was yesterday's, and I pretty much have the note completed for you, so this is going to be pretty easy. No problem there. And then we'll just talk a little on democracy versus autocracy and just do a little bit of conversations. Please stay with me because I want you guys to be posting stuff in the chat. Just give me quick little comments and things like that. Somebody remind me what the 3 Ps are that you got yesterday. I know you put this into your assignment, but what were the 3 Ps from that assignment? It's kind of almost a silly question, but hit me up just so I know you guys are still there and you're all alive, and that sounds like I'm working, but let's just make sure the few of us are there. So spam the chat with that triple bottom line. What were the 3 Ps? Ray says planet. Thanks, Ray. People, planet, profit. Love it. Awesome. Not pickle, donkey, knife. That's just I have these things that load from random websites. Awesome. Thanks, Aniola. Profit, beauty. And so, we're going to fill out, we're just going to look at basically this other strategy. And if you guys saw, basically the idea was typically a company or corporation is basically dedicated to their shareholders. And so if your company goes public, and when I mean company goes public, I just mean basically you've opened up your money to investors, to stocks, so that people can buy your stocks, right? If I just have a little lemonade stand, I'm just a lemonade stand, right? No one's investing in me. I probably don't have the money to go out on my own and do that. But I'll have, if I decide to go public, I can have people invest in me. I can sell off shares to my company. And basically, as soon as I do that with my little lemonade stand, I'm now like basically destined, or not destined, that's the wrong word, but obligated to do things in the shareholders' best interest. That's kind of what gets set up, legally speaking, as you're going about creating that business or going public with it. And that's difficult sometimes because, you're doing things basically maybe not always that are the best for the planet or best for people. You're looking to just profit as much as possible because that's what shareholders care about, right? They want profit. They want to see the value of their stocks go up. The more money your company makes, the more it's worth and the more their stocks are worth, and people go, oh, I want to buy that stock. I want a part of that company as its profits increase, right? And so, definitely is a bit of a weird situation. It's all about profit. But the triple bottom line, along with the B Corp thing we're going to talk about in a second here, is basically just saying, what if companies did not just look out for profit? What if they were obligated to look out for people as well as the planet? Basically coming up with a business model where your product actually is for bettering the world. It's not just like you make a product to improve your own wealth. It's like, how is not just like, think of this toothpaste. Like, is the world a better place because of this toothpaste? Maybe my teeth are cleaner and I'm getting less cavities, but like, is it making the people who manufacture this, is it making their lives better? Is it like supporting the community around that? Is there little like fundraisers? Are they somehow helping the homeless and donating toothpaste bottles and doing toothpaste instructional videos for people who maybe are in countries where there's not a lot of personal hygiene in that sense, in terms of like brushing your teeth isn't a norm? They can go around and talking about the benefits of brushing that. So if you're going to make this product, go out, and it obviously benefits you as well, more customers, but go out and do some instructional things on what the benefits of this are. And so how is not just like this toothpaste existing for profit, but how is it helping people? How is it helping the planet? Am I doing this in like a environmentally responsible way? And so actually they get into in the documentary, they get into what like a B corporation is. And they get into how basically it's the idea of legally changing your documentation, and I'll ask you that question in a second, to make sure that you're not just having to follow through what the best interest of a stakeholder would be. So 3 P's are, you guys can fill those in, right? I think let's get them in the same order that I have them here. It's going to be profit. Oops, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong stage. Be profit, people, and planet. And all I want to do, as you guys are looking through here, I just want to kind of explain some of these terms because I've already got them. Let's take the friggin' donkey pickle thing off. That makes no sense. I'm sorry. I just kind of want to explain some of these terms here. So I got this from an article that I had found online. These aren't from your textbook, but they're important pieces that the curriculum still wants you to know in terms of like, how is the triple bottom line? So these 3 Ps, how are they kind of like graded? Like, how do you figure out whether a company is actually doing good in terms of this like kind of like economic success rating scale? What are the things that are measured in terms of profit, in terms of people, and in terms of the planet as well? So the first one, obviously, you can see here. What I would do is you could just, I don't know if you want to draw it or just delete that line and type it. But maybe I would say in terms of your profit, I'm just going to explain some of these terms that you guys maybe won't know, and we'll go through with that. Okay, so in terms of your profit, I might even open up my my PowerPoint actually. That way it's just like a nicer way of showing you this. Let's just see. This is pretty good for now. I can explain some of these things. And hit me up with questions in the chat if you guys have any questions about something that I'm mentioning. But what I'd love you to do is some of these things that maybe you don't understand. Like if you look at this list here, maybe you don't know what establishment churn is. It's like, what the crap is he? It's not that complicated. It's just big words. But establishment sizes, what are those things in themselves? So maybe just take like a little pen here. And as I'm talking, just maybe the ones that you don't know, maybe explain them to yourself. That way, if this comes up later, you'd be able to know that, right? So somebody's personal income, right? If we're going to evaluate a company, it's not just like evaluating the product anymore. It's more than that. It's not just evaluating profits and whatever, but in terms of the profit of a company, what's the income level, not just of like the CEO, but what of like the personal people that are in your company? Are they making enough to get by? That sort of thing. The cost of underemployment. So you don't have to write anything for personal income because I think you guys know what personal income is. So I'll try and slow down just in case you want to write this for cost of underemployment. But a company can be underemployed. What do you guys think it means? Maybe I'll ask this in the chat, so post a comment here. What do you think it means to be underemployed? Underemployed, that's kind of a weird phrase. When you put the words together, it kind of makes sense, but what do you think that like literally looks like in a company? Or what are the results of a company being underemployed? Because it says cost of underemployed. So what does it like do to a company if you were underemployed? Maybe you guys can write something there. Help me out. Maybe I'd have to explain that one. I don't know what my delay is like. I thought it was 10 seconds, but it might be a little bit longer because increased sacking. So those of you that are not Nigerian or British, sacking means to fire someone. Ray says, sorry, Sam. I love that word. That's one of my favorite words. Getting sacked. I don't know. It's kind of funny. It's not funny to be sacked. I just like that word. It's a cool phrase. Ray says producing under production capacity. For sure, right? Like maybe you just like, if it's like a manufacturing plant, maybe you're just not able to produce enough goods. People will have to work more. That's huge, right? Sam, what do you mean by the high compensation fee? Do you mean that you have to pay other employees more because you don't have enough employees? Ray says people have to work more, right? Which could lead to overtime hours, things like that, and that costs, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but in Canada, if you have to work overtime, you get paid like time and a half or whatever the rate would be, sometimes double time. Michael said, when a company's capacity of production is lower than the amount of working force. Yeah, absolutely, right? Basically, the amount that they can create, like they need more workforce in order to be able to create the amount of production that the demand is calling for. Eniola says the amount of revenue you would lose because you don't have enough employees. And I think that's a pretty good thinking of just like cost of underemployment. That's a very good numerical way of doing this, right? It's funny because you think less people means less pay, but there's kind of like a balance, right? And so in terms of the triple bottom line, they don't give, because they want to be able to compare and give a score for profit, people, and planet. And so if your score for profit was all about money, it wouldn't really make sense because you can't really put a monetary value on people or planet, right? You kind of have to give them like a score somehow. And so for the cost of underemployment, you could define it as like how much money the company is losing, but it's more so like some sort of system to figure out like how close are they to that fine balance of, okay, they've got not enough employees, so people are working overtime in order to make production. Or it's possible like the company's like, no, we're not even gonna employ more people. We don't want to, pay a lot of people, and we also are just like not making like the actual amount of stuff we need. There's more demand, and we're not able to supply it. Just think of it like right now, like how stores are understocked. Imagine it was always like that. Like people are buying this like toilet paper or whatever the product would be, the toothpaste, whatever it is, but the stores aren't shelved, and you're losing on profit because people are there willing to buy it, but you're just not available for that. But yeah, basically it would be like a balance between you've got not enough employees, so you're not making your profit, or too many employees, right? Let's pretend you've got too many employees, you've hired too many people, and there's just not the demand, right? You'd have to lay people off, or they wouldn't work as much, and yeah, it'd just be really difficult. Establishment churn. Okay, so here's probably the first one. Maybe you guys would have a guess on this, but your establishment basically means like how many people are in your company. That's a fancy word for how many people are in the company. I don't know why I'm still holding the toothpaste like it's a microphone. I should be singing into this thing or something. But the establishment churn, I don't know if you guys know, like churn means to like turn things or like turnover. So establishment churn means how many people are like leaving your job and coming to your job, in terms of like, you might, are you firing a lot of people? That's kind of weird, right? Are people getting laid off? Are you rehiring people? It's very unstable. Is your market fluctuating quite a lot, right? So you get a score on that. Obviously you don't want a lot of churn because you have to train people, things like that. It's not fun. Establishment sizes is all about how many people you're actually employing in your company, right? How many people are actually able to be employed by your company? Kind of depends on the size, right? Job growth as well just means like, are people in your company able to continue, in terms of like actual profit? Think of this being the money sense. Are they able to, is there more, not just about the size, but are jobs growing? Like, are you growing as a company? But also even individually, like can a guy go from a lower job and is there different tiers of jobs that they can improve, make more money at? Work their way up in the company, but definitely job growth as well, right? You want a company to be expanding so that way you can continue to employ more and more people, and increase your profits, right? And then distribution by sector. So I don't know if you guys have made any notes yet. I would say I would have made a note personally on establishment churn, which would have been the job turnover. Establishment sizes, which would have been basically how many people you have in your company, and job growth would be, are there more jobs coming? So maybe I'll just make a little note of that because I think a lot of us aren't like total oral learners. So maybe I would say establishment churn is the rate of people leaving and coming to your company. Establishment sizes, right, is the amount of people employed by your company. And then job growth is basically the rate at which new or more jobs, I'll say more jobs, because new would sound like openings, more jobs are available. Is your company growing? And then also it's a really, sorry, did I do a good enough job there, Sam? I'm gonna wait for a second for people to catch up. If you're caught up with me and you're done making notes on this, could you give me a thumbs up or a newt in chat? That would be lovely. Sir Donald is coming, love it. Just gonna check my Edsby really quick. Selena, what is that emoji? Is it sad? Is it happy? Are you sad? Are you happy? I'm just checking Edsby, I promise. Ho, Super Gamer, what up? Just checking my... Here. Yes, I got you, sir. Awesome. What do I need? I need to change Tim Ho Super Gamer to be here. Welcome. Okay. I believe we are set up. Where did I get to? Just these other two guys. Basically, your employment distribution by sector. In terms of distribution, it just means how many jobs do you have in each sector. Think sector is, just add this over here. Sector would be like your primary, secondary, and your tertiary. I'm just going to underline sector there, just so you guys can see what I mean by that. Control U. Okay, that didn't work. I was going to underline sector. Control U. Anyways, pretend that's underlined, other than with that little red. Maybe it was underlined. It just was behind the squiggle. But yeah, so it's just saying like how many jobs do you have in each sector? Like if it's mostly in primary, that means like you don't have, a lot of people. Not that it's, that primary is just the extraction of resources. So typically, those are lower end or lower paying jobs, or even the secondary, right, as well. Because in primary, if you go to like Alberta and you're like mining oil, you can actually make a crap ton of money. But then the secondary sector, in terms of like making goods, again, not like the greatest in terms of like high amounts of pay. Think like working in a factory, that would be in secondary. So if you have a lot of jobs in the secondary, and maybe they're all like overseas in a country, not company, where the employment income, the minimum wage, the income amount for those people is really low. Obviously, looks kind of weird, but your profit is going to be high. And then percentage of firms would be just like how many like actual like, home bases, or like if your company is massive, like I've got a lemonade stand here, and that will be a sales firm. Like how many different of those sales booths do I have? Or do I have a bunch of lemon farms? That would be more in the primary sector, right? So how many of those firms, being like how many farms all over are we looking at? And then revenue, like how much money am I making from each of those second factors? So you would never be asked to calculate this. I'm probably getting into too much detail here, so I apologize. I'll bore you guys to death if we go into this too much longer. But just in general, if I was like, okay, what are some factors that, could be judged in terms of profit? Like if we want to look at the profit in terms of our triple P, triple bottom line, how do a company rates itself on more than just profit? What are some indicators for just profit, first of all? So you could talk about how many jobs there are, how much people make at their jobs, maybe the cost of underemployment, things like that. So anyways, let's move on from that. We'll be here all day. These are our people, right? So people, if you want to add people in, these are all people. And people is affected by, not just like the people in your company, but like the community around you, because you're supposed to be like, if you're improving the world with this toothpaste, I should be improving like the community around where my factories are, or around where my distribution center is, things like that, right? If I'm truly helping the economy and the people around me, then my unemployment rate around my factory should be a little bit lower. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to provide jobs. If I have a big factory, I should be upping the unemployment rate. Downing it, making less people unemployed is what I'm going for there. The median household income should go up, right? It should be improved because of me. My little community where my factory is, I'm hoping that that's going to help that community and better those people's lives. So obviously you'd hope as well in terms of safety of that community, things like their life expectancy would go up. How many crimes, like in terms of like violent crimes, would be going down. Hopefully their commute time. So you're hiring local people. You're not having people, have to like bike 3 hours from some little village to come to your factory to work a 8-hour shift and then bike 3 hours back. You want to be bettering people's lives. And so all of these things are going to become a factor, and some of them are going to take a long time to change. And it's almost a little unfair, right? You think about how we're trying to, give a rating for our company here and how we're doing to our shareholders. Well, our shareholders want to see that I'm helping people. So yes, maybe the unemployment rate is crap and shareholders know that, but maybe they can see improvements in that. And that's what shareholders want, right? They want increased profits always. But in this strategy, in this triple bottom line approach, we're looking for improvements in the people around us in our communities, as well as improvements with the planet too. So even if it's not good right now, we're looking for improvements in that. And that's how this kind of new economic structure would work. Instead of just profits, it's companies that are looking to be judged by more than that. And this is like a voluntary thing. You choose to do this. It's a different structure. You're not going completely public with your stocks. Or if you do, you have some sort of framework in place legally that says, I don't have to do always in your best interest if it hurts the people in my community around me or the planet. We're looking out for all three on an equal basis. And then the last one would be planet, right? And the planet, there's a lot of different, very specific things in terms of the stuff like sulfur. That's one thing that goes into it. I would never expect you guys to remember that. Basically, just think of it like, okay, greenhouse gases. You could say stuff like that. Like, is there a lot of emissions, bad gas, those kind of words that I think most of us would know. In terms of our pollutants, right? What are we doing even with our hazardous waste? If there's chemicals, are we, actually disposing of those properly? You'd have a better score. And how much of that are you actually creating? You don't want to have a whole lot of hazardous waste, right? Sometimes it's inevitable. But there's companies like, I don't know if you guys know Patagonia. That one, but they don't even use dyes in their clothing. So it's just more like natural dyes instead of chemical dyes, which eventually leak out into the environment. That sort of stuff, right? And waste as well. Like if I'm gonna have a piece of cloth, right, like this, and I cut a T-shirt from it, like that, and then all of this is waste. It's like, okay. Is that just going right in the garbage, or am I making some other garment out of that? Am I reusing that somehow? How much waste am I going to do, right? And obviously, I have no idea how T-shirts are made. I'm just saying that's typically where the waste idea, that's what popped into my brain. And even land use, things like that. Just in terms of the planet and whatnot, if you own a certain amount of land, I know this sounds weird, but even in your one factory, is the full property just one massive factory, and you've took over the creek, you've chopped down trees, there's nowhere for people to your employees to go sit on a park bench outside somewhere. At Great Lakes, you think of that massive property. We've got the trees on the walkway on the way up. We've got the back field where people can walk in. There's the creek going through. Our land use is pretty good, right? We don't have the whole thing as a school. Sometimes it'd be nicer to have maybe a bigger gym or a second floor, or maybe an indoor pool and stuff like that. It'd be fantastic, right? But it's nice to have all these other green spaces as well. Good for the planet. A lot of regrowth happening there too. And if more businesses were doing that, you'd have a lot more green spaces for sure. So that's people, planet, and profit. Can you guys I think this was part of the video. I did watch it yesterday. I might be mixing up with me just doing research on other videos and stuff like that today. But why do you guys think a company might want to be, so doing the triple bottom line approach is good, but it's more of a personal thing. So companies want to get certified. There's a legal certification in the US. It's called Benefit Corp or B Corp. And basically what you're doing is you're actually filling out a form, and you can click this link here, bcorporation.net, and it'll take you to this site where it's okay, you want to get certified. There's an actual process to go through. You can complete the assessment, and it's crazy. Per year, it's pretty funny. Here you go. Here's the fees, right? So it's each year, if your annual sales for your company, so you're just a small company, think my lemonade stand, I want to get certified B Corp. I'm making less than $150,000 for my whole sales. That's pretty low, right? I probably only have, less than 4 or 5 employees between splitting this, right? In terms of actually making money. I have to pay $1,000 a year every year to get certified, to make sure I can put this little logo on my company to say I'm a B corporation. So why on earth are there so many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of companies wanting to do this and applying for this? Why do you guys think that companies are maybe doing that? Post a comment in the comment section. Why do you think people are paying? Look at, if you have like a multi-million dollar company, you're spending $50,000 a year. Yeah, Selena, promotion, right? Promotion for sure. Just like when people see that, they know you're looking to be a company that is for the planet. It is for the people. That thing for sure, right? It's a pretty rigorous process. There's a lot of forms. The requirements are really tough. You have to get a score, and they score you from, I think it's from 0 to 200 or something like that. But you have to get a minimum of an 80. And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Eniola. That's great. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in the video because you used the language that they did as well. So good job remembering that. Or maybe you've done your own research. I just know that I've heard that wording before. But yeah, the goal is that when you actually decide to be a B corporation, you legally change the framework. So you go and edit your document and people can decide to leave and sell their stocks, or before you go public is the easiest. But you basically say, you know what? All of my shareholders out there, you're in my best interest. We're still looking out for you, but you can't sue us anymore. In the US and Canada, oh yeah, thanks Eniola, awesome from the video. But basically, yeah, like if I decide to make a decision for my company that is like a total bonehead move that is going to hurt, and I know, and I'm only going to get sued if I know, but if I'm going to make a decision that's going to really like tank my company, my shareholders can sue me. They've got a lot of money invested in me. And so if I make a decision that is going to purposely hurt them, like give away a bunch of products to the competitor or something dumb like that, they can sue me. But what I'm doing as a B corporation is I'm basically figuring out, okay, if I'm doing something, as long as it's for the benefit of the people or the planet in terms of this equal distant kind of perspective on the 3 Ps there, then they can't sue me for making those decisions that might not be best for the profit. It might not be the best. Like if I want to get rid of waste efficiently, right? Get rid of my hazardous waste. It costs money to do that. And that's not best for profit, but it's best for the planet. And so that's something that I would legally be allowed to do. Now, you're allowed to do that anyways. I feel like in a lot of countries, it's you're forced into getting rid of your waste legally. But let's pretend I'm going to go, I don't know, Sierra Leone. Let's just pretend it's not illegal to dump hazardous waste in the river or the ocean in Sierra Leone. I don't know enough about Sierra Leone, so I'm sure that's not true. I don't know. But like as a company, like I have no obligation to tell them to get rid of it efficiently, right? Whereas if I'm, a B corporation, there'd be some obligation there, and doing that and choosing to do that even when it's not legally required, definitely. Okay, I'll shut up, but definitely means I can't get sued. Josh says personal reasons. Okay, you just think it's cool. Yeah, Adele, absolutely, right? Being able to like build relationships with other companies that are B Corp. You're kind of like this part of this like the cool kids club. You're like, ooh, you're B Corp, I'm B Corp. We like the planet. I'm going to trade with you guys. We're going to help you guys out. And you want to like sell stuff on our website, or we'll sell stuff on yours, and maybe we'll do a collaboration where Patagonia like helps us make like work uniforms or work outfits. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those like Wall Street people that all walk around with like Patagonia vests and stuff like that. A lot of those companies, not all of them, are B corporations as well, and they're helping each other out. Sometimes they're just like, oh, we just want to have a Patagonia vest because it looks cool. Michael says the image of companies' ethical standard in the society. Max says it looks good. The outlook, absolutely, right? Just looking at it. Eniola says it's from, oh yeah, anyway, he already told me that. Another great way is that it attracts talent. I think, I really do. Like if I was looking to be employed at a company and I had skills, now I don't have skills. Let's just pretend I'm like this like really cool graphic designer and I can like crush Photoshop and stuff like that. Or maybe I'm like this like clothing designer, or I'm really good at working with my hands in terms of like making textiles or t-shirts or whatever. I'm going to want to work for it because I'm young, and I think you guys are starting to care more about the planet than people even my age and then even older than that as well. You guys are like growing up in an age where you care and you want to buy things that are like better for you, and you want to work for people that are better better for the planet and better for you, right? You want better benefits, you want things like that. Yes, it's about making money and they'll pay you accordingly, but maybe you'll take a little bit less money to go work for a company that's really good for the planet. And so in a way, people who are like super talented and leaving these big name companies, young, new people that are new to the block, it's cool. You look at, you go, oh, this is a really cool work environment. Even think about, you always hear about Google, right? Like how they're like so good for their people. Like they have all these really fun things. They do fun things and adventures, and they have like the slides in their office space, stuff like that. So they do a lot in that sense. So it attracts talent for sure. Sorry, where was I? I get all sidetracked. So why would they? I think you guys could probably, you could, and even if you just look at that website, it literally says it. So we can just scroll down, right? You lead a movement, that's their dumb thing. But you build relationships, like Adele said, right? Attract talent. In terms of like your mission statement, like if you have a company's mission statement, you can stand by that. Eniolas is a great point as well, right? You're legally changing yourself so that you can't get sued by your shareholders. So I would list a few of those things. And then this is just, if we were going to answer this, so I don't know, you guys could write like attract talent. Transparency, like Alucci said, right? Because in terms of your B corporation, like they want to make sure that like what's happening with their goods, like in the background and the people that it's affecting, that they're being honest and open about that. That's part of like the change as well. If they become certified, they have to make sure they're more transparent with people. Promotion, as Selena said, and then I won't write all those things down, but there's a bunch in the chat that you guys could throw into that. Basically, they need to change their legal legislature so that they are not at risk from being sued by shareholders. Only, it's not like they can't be sued in any situation. Like if you have a share in the company, you can sue these people, and it's more of an American thing, but definitely happens in Canada and by financial industries. Like banks have a lot of money invested in companies, so they be the ones that are like, oh, you screwed us over, we're going to sue the heck out of you. They changed their legal legislature so they're not at risk of being sued by shareholders if the interest of people or planet is involved. Okay, so I'm gonna do one last. We're just gonna talk about a democracy versus an autocracy or an autocracy. Different ways to say the same word. But later, if you click this link right here, it's gonna take you to the collaboration space, which you guys are gonna be able to edit. And once you're in here, what I'd love for you guys to do is to go to either one of these websites. If I click this website here, hopefully it takes us to this page. And there'll be a bunch of benefit corps down here. And what I want you to do is find one. Now, not all of their websites are very good, okay? In terms of they don't tell you what they're doing. Like they've been certified, and they've clearly, to get certified, they have to help with a lot of different things. But if I click, oh, it doesn't let me click on this website. We should just go to the actual B Corp directory. You can just go to their actual website, just Google them. But I just wanted to show you this on the B Corp website. So there are two different websites. This is the Benefit Corporation. And then anyways, you can be certified as well. So Amavita. Let's see if I can find them on here. Search. There you go. There's the Amavita Coffee. And they have 114, right? It's only an 80 to qualify. And so you can see where the different scores they've got are. So the governance, how they're doing in terms of like their missions and engagements, are they meeting their goals? Corporate accountability, so is corporate, when they're making these decisions, are they letting people know about things, and their transparency? Workers, basically, right? Their benefits, these guys don't give that good benefits, right? They're a coffee shop, but they make up for it in their wages. They're paying their coffee people quite a lot, it looks like, based on these scales. They're helping out a lot in their community, right? And you can see that. So how would I know that? And what do I I want you guys to do? Well, I want you to go to their website, and I believe that I've looked at their website right here. So this is this Amavita Coffee Roasters. And for them, when I scroll down, I'm going to be able to see what are some things they're doing. Now, I had to do a bit of digging. This isn't going to be the easiest thing in the world. I think it's easy when you go to a company like Patagonia's website. They're really organized. They've been in the game a long time. I think Patagonia has the highest score, actually, on B Corporation's scoring list. It is kind of cool to go through and see the scores, though, right? The 80s, the cutoff there. That's the median score. Most companies, like of all the companies that have applied, they're either below or above. And that's crazy because these are companies that must be doing well, right? For them to apply, they must think they're pretty environmentally sound, but half of the companies that apply are below 50 on this scale, and they must think they're doing a good job in the environment. And they're paying a lot of money to get certified, right? So it's just kind of funny how difficult this is, but how good some of these companies that are scoring. So they must be doing a pretty darn good job, right? So where was this website? I would like just you to go through, and if you look at my little OneNote thing here, all it says is name the company. So Eniola could write, don't do this one, but your Amicava Coffee. What are they doing for people? Is there something they're doing for the community around them? Something like that you can find on their website. Not all of them are going to have something, so find something different, right? I'm only asking for one thing. And what are they doing for the planet? Is there something environmentally friendly? So I think this Amicava one does a good job. You can scroll down through there and you can see, they are helping people in their communities right there, and you can read through, and they can also talk about there's their environment, right? You can go to this website right here. They're supporting power, clean, renewable energy. They have an initiative for that. So they're donating and that sort of thing as well. And then on the ground, you'd probably have to look at that, but you don't have to look at that. You can just type out what it says. Basically, they're donating and they're collecting donations for this Arcadia Powers clean, renewable energy, right? That's good for the planet, clean, renewable energy. Cool. So that's kind of the goal, but I want to move on. So don't get on with that yet. Don't leave me. Stick with me. How we doing? Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you're still with me? Or a newt. Hit me up with a newt. I'll give you a newt so you wake up. Can you guys hear the newt when it happens? Can you hear the little penguin thing make that noise? I see no comments. All of you have left me. Everyone hates me. Selena's laughing. That's good. She's alive. Thanks, Selena. Alucci's yes. Eniola's yeah. Thumbs up from Adele. Awesome. Hey, Leah. Nice. Awesome. Thanks, guys. You're with me. Sorry, I probably talked too much about the planet, and everybody knows we hate the planet, right? Okay, I'll shut up. Lewis is still there. Newt. Hey, Sam. Michael. User disconnected. That's pretty funny. Okay. Max, that messes with me, that little loading emoji, because I think it's an emoji at least I hope it is, if you're not trying to load something else. Let's just finish this note up, guys, because I know that a lot of you have got bigger and better things. So let me go down to Unit 4. Here we go. Democracy versus autocracy. Could you guys take this one out? I'll just do the PowerPoint. And then it's pretty easy because I think you guys, everyone knows what this is, right? I'm just going to talk about some downsides to them, some common characteristics, give me an example, and then we'll be done. This will be, I promise to not talk for more than, can I do 5 minutes? Time me, 2:48. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I'm stressed. Okay. A political system. Okay, basically it's how a government is run, right? We talked about this whole chapters on economic and political systems, so we're just kind of defining the two before we get into some more exact things, and we're going to talk about the business cycle, and I don't know, it's kind of cool. This unit's good. And remember, we're combining it. I'm going to somehow figure out how to do a test online, I guess. I haven't figured out the date yet because we're just getting into this chapter 4 here, obviously, now. But it won't be even next week. It'll probably be the week after. Okay, so no stress there. We are meeting tomorrow, even though it's late start day, class same time. But yeah, it won't be next week. It'll be the week after. I'll probably have to do some sort of online test format, something like that. We'll see how she goes. Okay. The type of government by which a country is run, you guys should be able to input that into your note, right? Now we're working in, I'll just write this up here. We are working on 3. Ray, we did not. We were doing the video project instead. There wasn't enough to test on for just culture. However, Hofstede and other cultural things will be on the chapter 4 test. So some of those things, I'll give you guys a great review package, and then obviously I'll give you both of the little, like the same review package, like this is what you got to know, and here's some multiple choice that are pretty well the same ones. Max, I don't know, buddy. We're actually going to talk about that in our meeting tomorrow. That's the problem with this. I don't want to tell you something. Like, what's the point, right? Everything changes. It's unfortunate that even Miss Kennedy gave us a time that we were going to think about coming back to school, right? Because things just keep changing. And that's what Doug Ford was like, it's not going to happen, in the next 2 weeks. When this would have been at the end of March break there, talking about going back to school when we initially said whatever that was, April something there, 7th or something, I don't know. But yeah, I assume we're going to be on a similar timeline with going back. We want to make sure everything's safe, right? How are we going to do the test, Sam? Well, I think the test is either going to be, I have an option to do things on EDSB. Now, I haven't loved the EDSB test. What might end up happening is I'll just be distributing it to you in OneNote, giving you that hour 20. And you know what? Like if you were to message other people, I would be disappointed, but I think probably messaging other people would be a bigger waste of your time and you wouldn't get the test done in the hour 20 that I gave you if you didn't know your stuff. So I don't know. I don't like that format because then all your notes are there, so that makes it really difficult. Might have to do something different or maybe substitute a test for an assignment, but I'd really like to do the test because I have the previous one. It's hard to do with this stuff for sure. Like math, I wouldn't mind because it's like, all right, tough it out, kids. But yeah, with business, like you have a lot of the answers in your OneNote. So maybe I take back about it, doing it in OneNote there. We'll see. We're talking tomorrow about how we do tests as well. So that's why there's a late start day tomorrow, just like there always is, because the teachers are meeting and stuff like that. Yeah, Google Docs could work, Selena. Yeah, that's a good idea. Or Google Form. Yeah, that's a good idea because I think you could take answers there. I just still, even that way, I don't know how to make it so you guys don't look at your OneNotes. If I asked you to not look at your OneNotes, I think most of you would be pretty good to me. But and also I could just be like, you have to put it in your own words and stuff like that too. But I don't know how to enforce that. I haven't figured it out yet, to be honest. But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll talk. Don't stress right now. That's something I'll stress about. You guys don't have to worry about that. I'll give you lots of heads up. I'll give you lots of stuff. I think either way, whatever it is I'm going to design it to be less stressful than a regular test would be. So all's good. Okay, sorry. Where did we get to? I think we're still in this. Do you guys have this 3- autocracy versus democracy open? Okay. Democracy. Okay, so what are some characteristics? Basically, I think you guys all know what a democracy is. It's when people get to vote. That's like the classic example of that, right? And those of you that took like grade 10 civics, I don't know who you guys would have took it in. It's been 2 years ago when I first got here, right? Who is the civics teacher? I don't even remember. Anyways, if you took it in Canada, and I know a lot of you weren't here around for then, maybe post who your civics teacher was. I'd be kind of interested. But yeah, Felton was your civics teacher. Oh no, someone is who is someone? Someone is Johnny, I think. So Johnny is below. But anyways, yeah, 2 years ago. Basically, civics was all about. Not me. Civics was all about how governments in Canada specifically, so you guys would have hated that as well, work. And so anyways, in Canada, we have a democracy. We get to vote. There's an elected representative, all that sort of stuff. So basically, yeah, you have free and hopefully fair elections. Law, rules, so there's laws, and people are governed to follow those laws. The government can change the laws, but like that's what's, you follow the laws, or there is a specific punishment laid out by the government. There's free speech, free press, meaning that people can write anything they want or say anything they want. The right to assembly, right, meaning that people can get together, and freedom of religion as well, so we can do that worship and stuff. What is bad about a democracy? Maybe I'll ask you guys if you have any other points, but this is a classic point. Basically, in Canada, our democracy sucks. I hate it. I have traveled to a few countries where there is not a democracy system in place, and it just seems like things get done way faster. And you guys might go, holy crap, what is Ellis talking about right now? What's going on with this guy? I thought he was Canadian or whatever. But I love democracy. It's great. I love the idea of it. But sometimes, and maybe you guys would agree, maybe you wouldn't, the problem with Canada, at least, is that we get seats. So we have this, it's like the House of Commons, and then there's seats. And so basically, all the seats are filled by representatives all around. So I don't vote for, the Prime Minister. I didn't say, I was going to say Stephen Harper. That was our last one. But I don't say Justin Trudeau. I say, I'm electing this person who's in the same party as Trudeau. And whoever gets the most seats, the most locally elected people, they go and they control the government, but they only get that percentage. So if only if the winning party only gets 40%, right? Let's pretend they win with only 40% of the seats. They have the most elected, so their guy is running it, like Trudeau or whatever it is. I don't know. I think Trudeau is a majority right now, so they have over 50%. But if it's a minority, which it almost always is in Canada, that means that if they decide, if their party is Justin Trudeau's I want to do something, they have to convince other parties with different beliefs in order to do that. And there's always compromises, and there's so much talking that has to happen in order to do that it's just so difficult. And the problem is it's so hard to get seats that people spend so much time trying to do what makes everyone happy, and try to do things to win votes and win voters. And they spend so much time thinking about that they sometimes don't even actually do anything. It's okay, what did you do the last 5 years you've been prime minister or president or whatever it would be that you got elected for? I balanced the books, or I balanced the budget. It's okay, that's the basics, but did you do anything else? Did you change anything for the better? And often it's maybe they did something, maybe they did something that hurt, maybe they did something that helped. But there's so many people you have to talk through, and Canada's system, in my opinion, is very flawed in terms of it's really hard to get stuff done. There's way too much talking and not enough doing. And you have to win people over, and it's all about compromises. It's too bad. Whereas, you sometimes you just need somebody to do something and get it done, right? Luckily in Canada right now, when we declare a state of emergency, Trudeau can do whatever he needs to do, right? He doesn't have to go and do a whole meeting, and well, he does, but it's less so. It's less about appeasing the people. He doesn't have to make the people happy. It's just let's get this crap done right now. So anyways, that's a downfall. Can you guys think of any other downfalls of democracy? People are dumb. They don't know what they want. They elected Trump. I didn't say that. I mean, elect celebrities. Yo, Selena, are you there? Follow you there? Is Follow there? I had a bad insult, but now there's too much delay. I was gonna say clearly democracy doesn't work because we elected Selena and Fola, but anyways, it's not that good. It's not that funny. Selena says it divides people. Yeah, that's such a great. That's a great point. People are like, no, this is my party, and like for some reason, people like put that into their identity, right? Like they're like, I am this party and that's who I am and I have to think exactly like them, and like then you're like, oh, and I don't get along with this other party, and it's really weird. It definitely divides people, right? Especially you see that in the States. If you guys follow the States right now, it's crazy, like the divide on Trump, right? Like there's hard Trump supporters and hard Trump haters. It's very divisive. So Selena's 100% right. That's another great point. I would add that one as well. Whereas if you live in autocracy, it's just like we either all hate the guy or we all like the guy or girl, whatever it would be. All right, sorry the vid's lagging. Okay, and then we're almost done. Autocracy. Can I go to that next slide, I wonder? Thanks, Selena. All right, and then an autocracy. Perfect. Thanks, Joshy. Autocracy, right? Basically, it's like some characteristics. It's one guy or girl, so in some individual, I don't need to say guy or girl, some individual or a small group of people, and they're in control. They've got all of the power. There's no like, ooh, I only have 30% majority, so I can make sure like I have to make compromises. It's just like these people are in control, and they are going to make the decisions. Now, sometimes it falls between democracy and autocracy, but yeah, basically it's like this like extreme sense where there's like a leader in charge. A classic example of this, again, would be like a country like Cuba, or other countries like that have kings where they're like totally completely in charge, or there's be another like modern day example would be a dictatorship, right? You think like North Korea or something like that, where there's a dictatorship. It's one person that's completely in control. Could even be a specific party, right? And it could be a party that's in control. So like a group of people, that sort of thing, that are making all the decisions. And basically, yeah, they typically, it's not always true, but they typically have a strong military presence, good warfare, that sort of thing. A lot of the money goes into that. And sometimes that is due to the fact that they need the military to control the people, depending on what kind of autocracy it is. Like if you have a king and everybody loves him, there used to be a king in Thailand and everybody loved the king in Thailand. And then he died, and then there was his younger son took over, and not everyone liked that guy. And then, they typically will have a strong military presence, though, because some people don't like to follow one person. And basically, they're trying to control, right? What are some benefits of this? The benefits are that things get done. And sometimes, like, you'll just have, like, if somebody that's in charge is an idiot, right? It's not going to work out that well. But the times that this works are when you've got like a party with like a team of people where there's like doctors and scientists and like really intelligent people, economists, all in a circle, and they're making some decisions and stuff needs to get done for the benefit of the people. That's great. But the downfall is that if I'm a citizen, if I'm just a lowly little Mr. Ellis, Logan Ellis, who gets to have no say in anything, stuff doesn't really get affected and people might forget about me. Or those people that are making those decisions, they're going to typically make decisions that benefit them, that are in the upper ring, right? Whereas I might not get my voice heard down here in the bottom tier, or over in another part of the country where a lot of people aren't there, so maybe like they don't build roads to me and things like that, so my voice doesn't get heard. So I'm going to vote for the person that helps me in this case, and that's what most people do, right? But yeah, the citizens, they just don't have any influence. That would be the downfall. So an example of this you could throw in: North Korea is going to be the easiest for you guys to remember, Cuba, things like that. Yeah. You guys got any questions for me? I've talked a lot today. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That's it for our note. I'm going to leave that up there for a second because I know some of you are copying that down. There's one question below, right where you guys are typing right now, that says, who would you rather trade with, or who do you think is a more stable trading partner? Would you rather trade with a country that is in an autocracy? And think about normal times. Forget about the whole Corona COVID-19 thing for a second. Normal times, back to our international business, things have kind of settled down. Who would you rather trade with? A company that has an autocracy or a democracy? What do you guys think? Maybe post a comment in the chat. Who do you think would be a more stable business partner, or somebody that you would rather trade with? And give me a reason. Maybe give me a reason as well. No responses just yet. Selena says democracy, they're open to new ideas and new things and ideas, for sure, right? So yeah, maybe like getting in there and there's more people to maybe talk to, and like maybe if it's a product where you've done some advertising online, maybe the people hear about it and they're like, oh, we want this. Whereas sometimes in an autocracy, things are sometimes centrally planned, right? Sometimes centrally planned, where they can, like, you know, things might not get imported if the government doesn't want them. Where am I? Josh says autocracy, because if you share the same interest with the people in power, the trading will be stable. For sure, right, Joshy? And I think Ray says the same thing. And the reason that things are more stable, right, is that, and maybe you guys would explain for me, but basically there's not going to be as much change in power, right? Every few years in a democracy, some new government is in place and they can change laws, right? They're going to be like, oh, the last person's taxes and duties, they weren't high enough, so I'm going to up the duties on the lemonade that Mr. Ellis is bringing in, right? And that hurts my company. It changes things. It changes my prices, right? For sure. Someone said democracy, no reason. Max says autocracy, faster communication and decision making. For sure, right? Things get done really quick, and definitely it's just something, if you want stuff done quick, if you're that kind of person, that would be great. The autocracy would be more stable, and it is one person's laws and ideas. Yeah, you guys are bringing up a lot of good points. Lewis says democracy because they won't make changes super. I guess Lewis doesn't want us to rush into anything. I guess that's what Lewis is saying. Adele says democracy feels like it's more people driven and more motivation because of the social connections. Yeah, right. It's, you're helping people. You're doing something for people, for sure. Michael would prefer to trade with democracy. The voice of the government represents the will of the people, and also if leaders make mistakes, they will be more likely be corrected. Yeah. So if somebody's like, oops, I screwed up, maybe they'll get voted out of power, right? Fola would do autocracy. He agrees with Josh. It'd be a little bit easier, just because it's more stable, less complications, straightforward. Michael comes back and says, autocracy, on the other hand, could lead to unstable trading partners if the change of power happens, right? Yeah, definitely. If the change of power does happen, like the king dies, it's the same idea, right? Maybe it lasts longer in terms of the stability. It's like the life of the leader or whatever it would be, or them being just booted off the island. I don't know. But there's more frequent change in a democracy. Alucci adds democracy because the government might like the products, but at the end of the day, the product is for the people, for sure. If the people want that product in there, and typically a democracy lines up more with a market economy, right? Absolutely. And so you want to be in a market economy at times because, then you can go in and you can start a business, you can trade, demand will certify you being allowed to go in there. Selena adds another great point to what I was just talking about would be the competition level. She added on to, that's great, that expands the conversation. Like there'll be way less competition in autocracy, right? So if you can get in there and you convince the government that you're going to be the only lemonade, then you're in, right? There'll be no competition. Everyone's buying your lemonades. That's a great point. Wow, you guys are killing this. But yeah, in a democracy, it'll typically be more lean towards that market economy where you might have a lot more competition. Bang. Cool. Hey, you guys are awesome. It's 3:05, so I'm not going to take up any more of your time. All I want you to do for me is I posted two little quick tasks. There was number 11 to 14, but I feel like you guys already kind of verbally explained those questions maybe up above right here. Just double check. I feel like some of them are already answered for us. So if you didn't answer one of these, just double check that you have. The thing that I really want you to do with the last 5 minutes of class is up here, right? In their collaboration space. Find a company name on either one of these links. I see Michael's already found one in Equator Coffee Roasters. Awesome. What are they doing for people and what are they doing for the planet? You might have to change your first choice if you can't find anything on their website, but Google them. Maybe even go to their B Corporation in the directory and see what their scores are to see like, oh, they clearly are doing something here. But see if you can find just one thing they're doing for the people and one thing they're doing for the planet. Doesn't have to be overly specific, but try your best, and we'll take this up tomorrow. Sound good, guys? You guys got any questions for me before I shut down the stream? Michael, I was thinking because it's just one quick thing, we would just have it tomorrow. Because it's just you finding the name of a company and one good and bad thing. I thought, and that's the only thing for homework, really. Yeah. Actually, maybe I think we've talked enough about the numbers 11 to 14. So if you guys just want to not even do 11 to 14, I think we've talked enough about autocracy and democracy. Just do this chart. I'm going to type out, don't worry about 11 to 14. Just do the chart. That way you guys have that saved. Cool. Try your best to not copy what other people are doing there. There's like hundreds and hundreds of companies, so I think it'd be very fluky unless you guys are all taking like ones in the first page. Just like when you go to this website here, in terms of like the Benefit Corp, just scroll down, right? And sorry, I'm trying to find it here. Oopsies. Just scroll down and go to like the 8th or 9th page. And when you go to the 8th or 9th page, just randomly, you'll be able to pick something. So I'm going to see plumorganics.com. So I might go to their website, right? And maybe I can find something about them in their resource center or their mission. Their mission looks pretty good, right? Sustainability, that's great, right? I'm able to look at their sustainability and what they're doing for it. And look at, you can even see their caps are made from recycled plastics. This is perfect stuff, right? Somebody could do this one. This would be great. Recycling, you can see they're doing a lot for the planet. You just have to find out if they're doing anything for people as well. So maybe that would be under the full effect, something like that. Yeah, that looks like it's a community thing. Donating nourishing food to little ones. Boom, baby, let's go. See, look how easy this assignment is. I just did one. Let's go. All right, anyways, you guys can do that. I believe in you. That's all you have for homework. Any questions, feel free to message me on Teams. God bless. Love you guys. Keep it real. I'm going to download this video off YouTube right now. I should have been recording it to begin with. But anyways, I'm going to download it, and then I'm going to send it to Nick because Nick doesn't have it. I'll try and post it in Edsby as well. That way everybody can see that. But anyways, God bless, guys. I will see you around. See you tomorrow. I was gonna say 3:10. That'd be the end of the day. You do not want to see me at 3:10. 1:50. All right. Peace.